Welcome! This web tutorial is a brief overview of the indicators for the North Carolina Media Coordinator Evaluation Instrument, developed by Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools Department of Virtual Learning and Media Services. I'm Lauren Schultz, Media Coordinator at Independence High School, and I'm joined by Robin Williams, Media Coordinator at Myers Park High School. The goal of this web tutorial is to develop a deeper understanding of the Media Coordinator Evaluation Instrument, to understand the purpose of possible indicators for the evaluation instrument, to review examples of possible indicators for the evaluation instrument, and to briefly review the evaluation timeline for all media coordinators. The Media Coordinator Evaluation has 5 standards. Each standard has a theme that the elements of the standard revolve around. The 5 themes are leadership, diversity, a 21st century library media program, instruction, and reflection on practice. As with teacher evaluations, media coordinators' performance will be noted on one of 4 levels: developing, proficient, accomplished, or distinguished. In most cases, these 4 levels are differentiated by how the skill is achieved. Media coordinators at the developing level have an awareness of the skill. Proficient media coordinators have actively demonstrated the skill. Accomplished media coordinators have moved beyond the demonstration level to collaboration at the school level. Finally, a distinguished media coordinator is a leader in this skill at the district, state, or national level. Similar to the teacher evaluation, we have developed a series of possible indicators to help evaluators understand each standard. These were created to be used in conjunction with the standard description and describe possible examples of what the standard would look like in practice. Please note, these indicators are not comprehensive and serve as guides for what a media coordinator could do to support a particular performance rating. If you, as a media coordinator, feel that you have other examples of how you achieved a specific level, please be sure to provide artifacts to support your position.
Now we are going to dive deep into an example of a specific standard and analyze the possible indicators. Please take a moment to read through Standard 4, Element C. Let's look at the developing level for this standard. You will see that the school library media coordinator is charged with identifying appropriate resources based on student interests, and also needs to scaffold and support differentiated instruction, as well as assisting students in finding engaging and appropriate information resources by building on their interests. Some possible indicators a school library media coordinator may do would be gather information about his or her population, identify resources for acquiring appropriate materials, is able to identify the various learning styles of the students at his or her school, or teach students how to use the catalog in order to find resources in the library. All of these indicators are possibilities of what the school library media coordinator may do, but please remember this is not an exhaustive listing. Let's look at these indicators for proficient, accomplished, and distinguished now. You'll notice in proficient, the school library media coordinator is now challenging students to read, partnering with teachers, and making recommendations to students. At the accomplished level, the school library media coordinator will now expand and enhance what the students are reading and promote the use of engaging materials to support reading instruction. And finally, at the distinguished level, the school library media coordinator is involving key community members, teachers, administration, family, etc. in leisure reading activities, as well as providing leadership in implementing community partnerships to support literacy programs. Let's take a moment to reflect on how the indicators have changed since the developing level.
So now that we have had a chance to look at the indicators, let's check for understanding with this scenario. Based on what you know of Standard 4, Element C, how would you evaluate Mr. A's performance? Developing, proficient, accomplished, or distinguished? Take a moment to assign the appropriate level rating based on his accomplishments. Based on the evidence provided, Mr. A would be rated as proficient. He partners with teachers to use relevant data to ensure that students have access to books that tailor to specific needs. His use of book talks in celebration of National Hispanic Heritage Month also shows that he is catering to interests of specific students and challenging them to read a variety of materials. His implementation of a school-wide book swap highlights these efforts and shows a clear proficiency in directing students to read for pleasure and for learning purposes. While he could potentially argue a check in accomplished for this one as evidence of expanding and enhancing the quality of students' reading activities, because he did not demonstrate that he promoted the use of engaging materials for reading instruction, he would ultimately receive a proficient rating.
Here is one more scenario. Read through this scenario and use your knowledge of Standard 4, Element C to rate Miss B. Would her performance fall under developing, proficient, accomplished, or distinguished? Take a moment to make your decision. Miss B would be rated as accomplished. While her actions closely reflect those of Mr. A's, she takes it a step further and expands her program to involve key stakeholders in her efforts to continue to enhance students' reading activities. Be it the field trip, library card drive, or the book fair, as well as her efforts to lead and train teachers in supporting reading instruction, Miss B has plenty of evidence that place her in the accomplished level. This comparison tool is provided from the NCDPI School Library Media Coordinator Evaluation Process User's Guide to help administration and school library media coordinators to better know how many evaluations each level should receive in a given year. Take a moment to read through this timeline.
Included here are additional resources to assist in the evaluation process, including a glossary of terms to help clarify the document, the School Library Media Coordinator's User Guide from NCDPI, as well as the support staff link for information regarding evaluations, and finally, a link to this presentation for future use. We hope you found this presentation to be helpful. Thank you so much for taking the time to participate. If you have any questions, please contact the Virtual Learning and Media Services Department.